on issues pertaining to the Ghana Premier League broadcast rights. Tell us about how this has affected the brand and how you've actually been able to improve Ghana football regardless of all this.
In 2016, StarTimes launched its services in Ghana. We launched in October 2016. At the time, the Ghana Premier League had no TV partner. It had no sponsor as well. The previous TV partner had ended a 3-year deal, citing the fact that the league was unlucrative or unprofitable. Yeah. And I'll take you back to the same year, February that same year. And there's a story on Ghana Web, 17th February. It's there, you can check online. And it was at the launch of the 2015-2016 Premier League. And a rep of Super Sports then, who were still the broadcast rights holders of the Ghana Premier League, he had something to say, and I'll quote. Okay. Our doors have been open since the day we signed the contract with the GFA, but it appears TV stations are reluctant. We have made available all the tapes of matches played last season for highlights, but they are still here. Nobody came for them. So any station that is ready should just come and we will give them the go-ahead and they will do it for free. Super Sports had the TV rights for 3 years and they had called on the local TV stations to come partner and show the games for free. And the TV stations, the local TV stations, live games, okay. The local TV stations were reluctant and nobody came up to them for this. Now I would say we saw what nobody could see back then in 2016. We saw that, look, if we could put premium on this local content, it will become something that Ghanaians would want to see on television. And so we decided to invest in the local football. Now, when we took up the rights of the Ghana Premier League, you know what we did? We contracted the state broadcaster. We contracted the state broadcaster. We paid them to produce live games for television. Now, why did we do this? We did that because at the time our team wasn't well constituted. We had barely launched. Okay. And so we contracted them to do the live games for us. And the live games were not limited to the StarTimes platform. We also gave the state broadcaster some of these games to show on their platform, GTV Sports Plus, plus 8 other FTA channels. And all these for free, we gave it to them to air on their platforms. So why did we do this? We wanted to expand the GPL's market reach and also to strengthen its business position in Ghana. When you take us back to 2016 again, how many games were available on TV? You would find 1 game, sometimes 2, for the whole match day. But when StarTimes came in, we have been able to put up to 4, sometimes 5 games per match day live on TV. Sometimes we show some of the games simultaneously. We did over 100 live games in the just ended season for both the GPL and the FA Cup. You know, and we have done all this for Ghana football. So what I know is that there are several African countries who have their domestic leagues sitting on private-owned pay TV platforms. I'll give you examples. The Tanzanian Premier League, the Kenyan Premier League, the Ethiopian Premier League, and so many more. And even for us as StarTimes, I would say one of our strategic goals is to become the hub for African football. And so when you go around our country branches, you go to Zambia, Mozambique, Uganda, Kenya, we're involved in all these domestic leagues for these countries. And so there's your evidence. It's not only Ghana. It's no longer a state broadcaster affair. If it was, then the BBC would have the English Premier League. But what do we see? Sky Sports is the one that has the rights for the English Premier League. Why are we not saying that? Or why is England not saying that, well, Sky Sports is not the state broadcaster and so they should give it to BBC? this whole football rights thing has become business because this is also revenue that goes to running the association, the clubs, the competition itself, you know. And so I think that is what everybody should begin to see it as. It's not a state broadcaster thing, so that we continue to say that well, this is Ghana League, so it has to be, the rights has to be given to a Ghanaian company or something like that. Yeah, so you see, as I mentioned earlier, in 2016 when we came in, we had barely started, we had no production capacity, and so we relied on the state broadcaster to do the production for us. But going forward, in 2017, we acquired our own state-of-the-art equipment. So we got a state-of-the-art OB van. We have gone ahead through our local partner to acquire more state-of-the-art equipment. We have the VSRT and all these technology that we're able to use to do augmented reality for live games. And so, like you mentioned, now StarTimes has rather become the outfit that has the capacity to be able to do live OBs, even for state events, because our equipment are being rented and used for some of these state events. We decided that even though at the time we came in, no Ghanaian broadcaster or Ghanaian media house was interested in the domestic league, we decided to do all the heavy lifting because we saw in the game what it could become. We saw that it had a potential to become one of these big leagues that everybody would want to watch either at the stadium or at home on television. And so we did what we had to do. We put money to it. We invested heavily in production, in promotion of the game as well. In the early days, 2016, when we came, we had forums with the media houses, TV, radio, and getting them to, you know, speak positive about the league. Because when we came in, it was, oh, and a league you win, a league you phone. And I'll tell you what, when we were even putting together the 10 TV stations that would go on to carry the live games for free, a colleague and I went to one of the TV stations, a very popular one, and then one of their directors just told us in our face that, but why are you people wasting money on this local league? You know, don't you have anything better to do with your money? You know, and then just as you giggled, we also did that, and then we told him that, look, we see something in the local league. It just needs a lot of work, and we are ready to do the work. And that is what we have done so far, and it's very evident in what you are seeing today. Now everybody wants to be part of the Ghana Premier League. All those who back then had said that the league was not lucrative or it wasn't worth investing in, now everybody is interested in the Ghana Premier League. And you know, sometimes we end up being vilified in the press. But for us, we say that when we hear all these comments, you know, it makes us happy in the sense that then it goes to confirm the good work we have done with Ghana football.
Talking about the works you've put in, I remember in 2019, there was this Bundesliga football school and other tours you did for journalists and all that, but most importantly, the football school got some local coaches who participated in training the young kids and got training from German coaches in the country. And just recently, one of the coaches was the winner of the Ghana Premier League.
Yes, there's the Evans guy, and then before then, our own Heart of Oak coach, what's his name again? Samuel Bwedu. Samuel Bwedu was part of the Ghana the Bundesliga football school. He participated, and the German coaches had their sessions with them, and they learned a lot of things that they went on to put back in the local teams that they were involved with. And we can all see the evidence right now. We've gone as far as impacting into journalists with our media visits to Germany and so on. Even we had one that had journalists travel to France when we had the French league as well. And so all this is evidence of the fact that StarTimes is actually committed in growing the game of soccer in Ghana. So let me even touch on this. Before StarTimes, like I mentioned, there were 1 or 2 games on TV here and there. What we have done is that before the league starts, we sit with the stakeholders and then we tell them that, look, we want every team to have exposure on television. So if you have tracked, you see that last season we went everywhere. As far as Tamale, in Swatreman, we have been to Bibiani, we have been to Takwa, Sogakofe, every corner we have been there. We don't say that, well, and you know, sometimes we're even attacked for the kind of pitches that we put on television. But we also know that we have interacted with the clubs. It's a whole agenda to grow Ghana football. We initially came up with a plan that said that, well, why don't we all congregate at certain stadia and play the matches from here? Because these stadia are television friendly and so on. But some of the clubs came up to say that, look, this is our livelihood in our locality. We also want to see our spectators. Our spectators want to watch us play in our home soil and all that. And we have considered all that. And together with the FA and all the other stakeholders, what we have done is that, okay, then together let's all build these community stadia to become television friendly. So then they started, in the past when we started, there are certain parks when you go to, there are no risers for cameras, there are no risers for the cameramen. It becomes very difficult to even shoot the game. But now, all these clubs have become very receptive to television. They want to see their clubs on television because they know what television can do for their local clubs, their players. You know, they get exposure and people want to see them and buy them and so on and so forth. So we've done all this and it's telling on Ghana football. So I'd say the reach is very wide. Mind you, StarTimes is available in 30 African countries. And so we beam this to over 40 million subscribers in Africa. And in Ghana, apart from the StarTimes platform, we also make one game available every week on Max TV, which is nationwide. And so we believe this is all part of the reason why the GPL is attracting a lot of attention. It's been very expensive. We spend an average of $1 million USD producing games for a season. Then there's also the part where you're doing the promotions on radio, TV, billboards. We're doing all that low-key through our local partner in Max TV. And you know, there's a lot of cost to that. Production alone for one game, and depending on where the game is actually being played, you can do the math. Sometimes in a bid to get every club to be on TV, you may go to a locality and the team may have to stay up to about 3 days, sleeping and eating in hotels, just so they can catch the next team, so that they can also put them on TV before they come back down south, you know. So it's tough. And I can say that these are some of the reasons why in the past you see only 1 or 2 games on TV, because it's not very simple to just carry, you know, a team and go up north to Tamale, go and do 1 game and come back south. Look at the cost. So there you have your confirmation. When we get the vilification, oh, why has StarTimes been the one doing this? Why is StarTimes the one that won the bid? Why is StarTimes this? Why is StarTimes that? It goes to tell you that we are doing something good. We have brought GPL from the era where nobody wanted to be a part of it. Nobody wanted to associate themselves with GPL. The story I referred you to earlier, where the Super Sports rep mentioned that nobody was willing to come for the live games for free, there's a part of that story where he also encouraged local broadcasters, especially the radio stations, to continue to speak about the local game so that it becomes popular. We all know that in the 60s, 70s, 80s, GPL was very popular. Kotoko and Hearts were big, but things happened a whole lot, including technology, May 9 disaster, and so on. So popularity of the game went down a little bit, and ANAS investigations, and we all have to just put our hands together and bring Ghana football back to where it's supposed to be. But it turns out that some people were not interested in doing that. And StarTimes has come to, push that agenda. And we have, I wouldn't say GPL is where it's supposed to be yet, but it's on a journey up north, And now all of a sudden people are asking why StarTimes is the one that has the rights. But nobody asked when the league was sitting down fallow, when it had no broadcast partner, when it had no sponsor, nobody said why, why is it, without a TV partner or anything like that, So it only goes to tell you that we have done something good. We have made GPL the talk of the town. Of course, we didn't do it alone. We did it with stakeholders, the GFA, the clubs themselves. I think they are all pushing their way up. Now they understand the power of television in their home grounds and so on and so forth. And so I would say that it's been positive. So for us, we would say that Ghanaians should just compare from when we took it over, from before StarTimes came into Ghana and took over the Ghana Premier League, and where we have taken it now. If Ghanaians wanted to go back to when the games were 1 or 2 on TV, then it's a decision of Ghanaians and the stakeholders to make. If Ghanaians want a situation where nobody's talking about the Ghana Premier League, then it is their choice to make. But I think that for all the stakeholders, including the clubs who are the direct beneficiaries of TV rights, fees, and so on and so forth, I think that they also believe in what StarTimes has started with Ghana football, and they would want to see us continue. We wanted to make stars out of ordinary players. We've been in this country for long, where the Asamoahs were playing with Liberty professionals and went on to become big stars in the world. TV plays a big part of this, and so we felt that if we're here and we have the ability to invest in the local game, to make local stars out of these people who will go onto the world stage, then that is what we wanted to do. That is what we wanted to associate our brand with and grow Ghana for the whole of Africa to see. Indeed, StarTimes is a foreign entity, but in Ghana, the company is run almost as a franchise. So it has a local partner who is a Ghanaian and has shares in the company. And when you look at our staff strength for our head office here and all our branches in Ghana, we have a staff strength of about 70. And it will interest you to know that only 4 of them are Chinese. So that's not even up to 1%. And so we are empowering young people. Myself, I'm the GM and I'm Ghanaian, and so this is good. When it comes to production of the GPL as well, we employ up to about 60 people just for GPL. So we have 2 teams, we have 25 people on each team, and then we have about 10 people sitting in studio to work around and make sure that the transmission goes well and all that. And all these people are Ghanaians. And so that notion where it is said that it's a foreign company, it is a foreign company, but it benefits most Ghanaians. Before 2016, you had to be rich to be able to afford pay TV. And it was assumed that if you have a dish on top of your house, then you were rich, you know. But we came in and made pay TV so affordable. At the time in 2016, we had bouquets that went for as low as 15 cedis. Now our lowest bouquet is 30 cedis. It's still very affordable. And our device itself, when it comes to the decoder, is also very affordable. We're currently running a promo. Decoder, dish, and its accessories plus 1 month super bouquet subscription is going for 195 Ghana cedis. That's very affordable. And aside the DTH option where you set up the decoder and dish to be able to receive the satellite signals, you can also watch us on your phone. If you have a smartphone, you can just download the StarTimes On app and pay just a little bit and have access to an array of content including GPL.
StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.